It's still dark in Albuquerque in the earliest hours of Friday, March 5th, 2021, when two officers are sent to the top floor of the Albuquerque International Sunport parking garage.
I don't know. It's like the skin with the hair that looked. Yeah.
We'll let our honcho make that call if I'm going to this truck.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Airport lots are full of oddities.
Yeah, like behind the seat right there looks like there's blood on her shirt. Like those loppers right there. Yeah. I can't tell if there's rust on it or I don't know. Like around the blade part kind of looks reddish. I mean, could be rust, but based off what we're looking at, I mean, I don't know.
Cars left for days, forgotten vehicles, travelers who change plans. But this one doesn't feel like forgotten. It feels wrong. Airport security had called it in after a routine sweep.
We don't know what's in there. Everything's been towels. Yeah, it does smell. So
it does, definitely. And there's some type of soap. Did you see the soap garment in the back?
you know, there's all kinds of random things in there. So I'll let him. He's honcho for the night, so we'll let him tell us how far to go into this.
On the passenger side in the rear, if you look through the window, there's a garment on the floor. Appears to be maybe a t-shirt. It appears to be blood soaked, oil soaked, some type of saturation.
The reason why we stopped is one of those things looks like skin. But I don't know. Could be our mind messing with us. Okay. I saw some fibers underneath this passenger. There's things that are kind of hinting, but again, that's why we're waiting.
Bag of saws on there.
Multiple saws.
An older Ford Ranger, beat up, cluttered, and giving off a smell that didn't belong in a public place.
Kind of smells. Kind of smells, but I mean, not to like decompose or anything. You know what I mean?
Not just trash, not spilled fuel. Something heavier, something that seems to punch the air in waves. The cold pre-dawn desert air should have kept odors thin, but this one keeps coming back like it's anchored to the truck. The bed is loaded with plastic tote bins and debris. Another tote sits inside the cab. It's not how someone packs for travel. It's how someone tries to move a problem.
Reddish. I mean, could be rust, but based off what we're looking at, I mean, I don't know.
Officers don't yet know they're standing at the edge of a story that spans counties and will eventually stretch far beyond New Mexico. For now, all they have is a vehicle, a smell, and the kind of silence that makes you speak softer without meaning to. And while Albuquerque wakes up like any other Friday, a smaller town to the west, Grants, New Mexico, about 80 miles away, has already been living in a different kind of morning for weeks. Grants is the sort of place where everyone knows everyone's cousin, where rumors travel faster than official updates, and where the desert starts at the edge of town like an endless blank page. When people disappear out there, time doesn't move in days. It moves in questions. The first question comes with a young man's name. Matthew Miller, 21. He's reported missing after he doesn't return home following January 24th, 2021. A few days pass before the report is made. Partly because in struggling towns, people hope the answer is simple. He'll show up.
Hello.
Got ourselves a
Yes. And then, so it's a small puppy that I don't know how long it's been there. It doesn't look like it's been there very long. The previous owners that were renting the place left. Said they were going to leave some stuff outside for these guys to throw away with the landlord. And when they were throwing stuff away, that's whenever they found the dog. Yeah. It's got cable tied around its neck. I'll show you where it's at.
But as hours become days, his grandmother does what families always do when hope starts cracking. She asks for help. Matthew had battled addiction, yes, but family members stress a specific detail. Disappearing without a word doesn't fit him. Police learn Matthew was last seen headed toward Albuquerque in his brown Chevrolet Colorado pickup. Later, that truck turns up back in Grants, parked near an apartment complex. The location is close enough to feel like a message. I was here, but the message doesn't have a sender. No witnesses, no clear timeline, just the vehicle returned without the person. Then another missing report starts to echo against the first. Jennifer Whitman Lannon, 39, a mother of 3, disappears from the same community orbit.
They've had no running water for 3 months.
They give it the animal, the water. Guys came, they said they come and had to turn it off several times, and they finally pulled the meter because it kept turning it back on. So they did that. It went off for a while. It stinks bad, and then
I've been here multiple times.
okay.
In reference to the tenants.
Yeah, that is just straight up used.
Absolutely.
That's just sad. That right there just really got to me because it's like that's not cool at all.
No.
They tortured it.
Absolutely.
You can tell they tortured it just breathing in their mouth.
Yeah, I was like, what, to hang it? That's just, I don't know, I'm not very happy with
cruel,
it.
awful people.
Yeah, we tried to get in, the landlord, the owner, he tried to go into the house. They went in, they painted everything their own colors, and they just ruined everything.
Yeah, so we'll make sure it's documented and
Her family situation is complicated, as many are. Separation, financial stress, a history of instability, the kind of pressure that turns ordinary problems into cliff edges. She'd lived in New Jersey before relocating to New Mexico, and she had training and work history that suggested she once had a more stable track. But by early 2021, stability had become something the household chased, not something it had. Jennifer's disappearance is reported by her ex-husband, Sean, who tells police she left with a man named Justin Mada and another individual known only by a street name. The claim is that they went toward Arizona, chasing money and drugs, fentanyl pills, quick profit, the sort of logic that addiction sells as just one trip. But the pattern doesn't hold. Jennifer doesn't call. She doesn't text. She doesn't reappear when the money runs out. Her silence isn't normal silence. It's the kind that starts to frighten people who've lived through normal silence before. Then a third missing name enters the same gravitational field. Justin Mada. Also gone. Also not seen since the same period Jennifer vanished.
He's been missing for over 2 weeks. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When was the last time he was here?
Maybe a year ago, maybe?
A year ago.
When I first got this place, yeah. When I first got it, last January.
He hasn't been here since then.
Like, I know
Okay.
if I know.
What if I got video of his vehicle?
Maybe Justin hasn't here, man. When he was having myself.
Okay. When was the last time you saw him here?
When he plays, once you bring him over, I first got to place.
A year ago? You think Justin would have,
He would have, yeah, probably.
when you weren't here?
I wouldn't hear or pay attention, yeah.
Okay.
Because they said all that, yeah. But he left on 17th and then came back. And then I went,
17th. That's a long time ago.
yeah, and then I went to talk to the guy in Kingman. He's like, yeah, they left each other. They're during the night and they're in Arizona.
Do you have any kind of way to contact Justin? You have a phone number?
No, he just left him took off.
Well, what's his phone number?
You don't
Email,
have it.
Facebook?
He took my phone and my phone. It's not working. He took my phone, yeah. Took a wife.
When's the last time you had any kind of communication with
That's
Justin?
simply said, go by Coke. So I'm go by Coke.
That's it.
Yep. And then I heard things. Somebody had told me like a week later, oh, he's with the girl in California or Arizona.
When's the last time you talked to Tomas?
Earlier today.
Tell me. Why is he telling the cops that they went to Colorado?
I think Arizona. That's where he's going.
Okay. Why would he tell the cops Colorado?
Because he has some money.
Okay.
Because I already found out myself too.
Okay.
Honestly.
What I would like to do, alright,
Mm-hmm.
is look around your house for any kind of evidence of Matthew Miller or any kind of foul play. I'm not looking for anything other than that. I would like to look in the vehicle outside, out back.
It's locked. We tried to open it. I don't have it.
What about the trunk? How do you get into the trunk?
I don't have the key. I have to open it from the inside.
You have to open the trunk.
Suddenly, police aren't just looking at one person falling off the map. They're looking at multiple people vanishing in overlapping timelines. In a town where disappearances are usually explained away by drift, relapse, or leaving town, the overlap changes the math. Investigators canvass neighborhoods, knock doors, speak to associates, re-interview people who already answer questions once.
It's over here. I'll show you.
All right.
So this guy hasn't paid us since July, but with COVID going on, we couldn't evict him, so we've had nothing but problems with him up until right back there, wherever it fits. Anyways, we finally got him to move out. So I seen him today. We haven't come by. We haven't messed with him. Hopefully, I don't kick his ass, you know. When I came by, he says, "I'm gonna leave you a pile to throw." Well, we didn't know which pile, so we started to load it up. While we were moving some things, and we found this puppy in this box. Hello. So we're looking for Danny. No. And you're good unless you feel you need to do that.
I always do because I don't.
Okay, you're okay.
No, I haven't seen him.
Do you remember the last time you saw him?
Maybe a couple of months ago because me and him disagreed on some stuff, and I don't really see him.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's why we're here.
Okay,
Alrighty.
alrighty.
If he has any other questions, I'll have him knock on your door. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
And then there's Sean, Jennifer's ex, who, from a detective's perspective, behaves slightly off for someone pushing a missing person search. Families of missing people often do the same things. They call constantly, they show up, they pressure investigators. They beg the system to move faster. Here, investigators are left chasing Sean down instead, tracking new numbers, trying to keep contact.
Hello?
Hey, is this Sean?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Sean, this is Detective Turney. How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing today?
Good, man. I've been trying to get a hold of your other number, and it's not working. So,
No, I apologize. I'm sorry.
so you know anything new?
Every time a detective has to pull basic information, suspicion grows. Not because it proves guilt, but because it disrupts expectation.
Hello?
Hey, Sean, it's Detective Attorney.
Yeah, I probably called you late last night. I literally could not find out. I was sitting on a ride yesterday, so I'm working on it now. That's why I called you. Just you might call.
Yeah, I go to bed early, man. I'm old. But
I feel you. I apologize, but I need you to have my number, so.
okay. Just looking for a sitter and a ride.
Sitter and a ride.
Okay.
So the detective tries something simple. Rapport. A casual tone. A friendly call. Not an accusation. An invitation. Because the truth is, at this stage, investigators don't need Sean to confess to anything. They need him to talk. To lock down timelines. To identify vehicles. To react to details he shouldn't react to unless he already knows more than he's saying. The call happens after weeks of dead ends and partial leads. The detective reaches him and keeps it light. Asks how things are, where he is, how the kids are doing, like the conversation is routine, like this is just another piece of administrative work.
I'm in Albuquerque.
Okay. How's the kids doing?
They're doing good. They're doing good. Just upset looking.
But the key moment comes when the detective says he has pictures of vehicles he wants Sean to look at. It's subtle, but it's strategic, a low-threat request that can still trigger high-value reactions. Sean agrees to come the next day, afternoon, after he lines up a ride.
In there, I've got a bunch of pictures of different vehicles. I'd like you to take a look at, see if you could help me identify them.
Good time tomorrow. I wanted to come in and I still have stuff I got to return to the school.
Okay. Tomorrow would be great. Just give me a heads up anytime.
You got it. All right, boss.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Apologize for the phone issue. I didn't.
We're good.
The other one was technically the one Jen left and Savvy had. So.
Okay.
Yep. Alrighty. Apologize for that.
All right. What? Any idea what time tomorrow?
In the afternoon. I got to get a ride. So.
Okay.
And that agreement becomes the hinge point. Because while Sean is thinking he's walking into a conversation he can manage, detectives are thinking something else. If the missing persons are connected, then whoever links them isn't a rumor. It's a person. And the next time Sean sits in a room with a detective, it won't be a casual talk. It'll be the moment the story stops being missing and starts becoming something far darker. He was brought into the interrogation.
This is about these missing people. Right? You know that, okay? Everybody is a suspect. Okay, everybody. I deal with suspects, witnesses, and victims. Everybody is a suspect. Okay, and it is my job to take the suspects one at a time and rule them out. And I can't rule one out. I can't move on to the next one. I can only deal with one at a time. Okay? You are our suspect that I want to try and rule out. Okay?
The detective opens by calling everyone a suspect. This isn't honesty, it's strategy. By framing this as routine, he lowers Sean's defenses and makes him believe he's just another name on a list.
Okay, step one is to tell me where the bodies are. Step two, okay, is to tell me some kind of reasonable story of the truth.
Okay.
Okay?
No,
those are the steps.
Yeah.
Okay, we all fuck up, we all make mistakes. Okay? Right? And we all freak out. Okay? I don't think you're a killer. I don't think you're capable of purposely, deliberately killing somebody. I think you're a reasonable person. I think it was some kind of self-defense and or an accident. And you flipped out, as anybody would, and went and dumped their bodies because you didn't want to lose your kids.
Now comes the persuasion phase. Where are the bodies? Tell the truth. Then immediately, we all make mistakes. This softens the moral weight, making confession feel less dangerous.
What is it you, how and when I told you what I knew, that's what I feel I gave you an honest answer. What is it that would cause you to think otherwise, that it wasn't true? What is it that you think I
know you're the last one who drove Matthew Miller's truck.
Okay.
I know you parked it where we found it.
Yep.
That's all a lie. You lied to me about that.
What do you mean? That's where I put it. I told you where it was. It's still, it was there last time I saw it. I told you in here. I told you I drove the truck.
You told me you drove the truck a few weeks prior, and you went to Smith's and Walmart to get food, and then you went back and drove and parked it at Kingman.
At McDonald's. Yeah.
That's
it. That's the last time I drove it. And the kids were with me the whole time. That's it.
Okay. Every time, so there's surveillance video across the street from 817 Kingman. Incredible surveillance video.
Yeah.
We got everybody coming or going from that house. Everything that happens. Every vehicle that shows up. Right?
Yeah.
Notice Sean's body language. He avoids eye contact. He touches his face. He waves his hand dismissively. These are subconscious stress responses, classic signs of psychological overload.
Where's Matthew and where's Jennifer and where's Justin?
I don't have that answer for you. That wasn't, I'm not part of whatever disappearance they're on. That's not my thing. So Matthew owed me $80 worth of something. I needed water. I needed a vehicle periodically. He drove me a few times. I didn't even know he didn't have water until he said something about his grandmother. He got water from his grandmother one day. I was like, what was that? His girl was at my house. I'm like, I told him we were 40. They took 80 off the card. And a couple days later, I got to go to the store. So it took me also a long time, just still humble. The girl still had kids.
And Jennifer and Justin ran off together.
Fucking, yeah.
And they got into this white car.
A white, a 300 or something?
Yeah, there's no white car that ever goes to 817 Kingman.
Yes, there's an 87. There's a white 300 there.
Instead of denying, Sean floods the room with details. Water, food cards, errands. When liars feel trapped, they bury the truth under excessive explanation.
They weren't together. We weren't together. Like, she physically was leaving with Justin. Like, okay, I couldn't afford the shit.
Why would she take her makeup?
She did take makeup. She took a whole bag. Yeah.
The big flower bag? Like the suitcase?
No, she had a backpack.
Okay.
A backpack. A nice one. Female. Yeah. She's always prepared. So.
Sean, I think you guys got into a fight. I think it was just self-defense. Justin came at you, something weird happened, and you were just protecting yourself and the kids. That's what I think happened. And somehow they died.
No. Sorry. No. Honestly.
Here, the detective introduces theme development. He suggests accident, self-defense, panic. He's offering Sean a morally acceptable story, one that still includes guilt.
On February 10th, okay, that was the day you came in here and we got Jennifer entered missing?
Yep.
Before you came here, you went to Kelly DeSoto's house.
I did.
And you took a bag in the house and had a gun.
Yep.
And Jennifer's IDs.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? You're admitting that you did that?
I had a bag at the house here.
On your way here, you stopped at Kelly's.
I stopped at Kelly's.
Right?
Yep. Talked to Kelly for a few minutes. And then I left.
You took a bag in her house and hid the bag.
I didn't hide the bag. It was on the kitchen table. That's it. It was my other bag. My laptop and everything.
And there was a gun in the bag.
There was. Justin's gun, which was Tommy Archulette's gun. The son.
It was Justin's gun.
Justin's gone. He got it from Tom Rangel.
Okay.
Then comes the bag. A gun, knives, Jennifer's IDs. This isn't coincidence. It's potential evidence. And suddenly, Sean's calm starts to crack.
I just want to give you this chance. You know, we're eventually going to figure out exactly what happened. We're eventually going to find them all.
And that's a good thing.
I think that they're deceased, don't you?
I think she's going to pop up when she wants fucking money. That's always her
It's
MO.
been a month, man.
She's disappeared for more than a month before.
Hasn't called her mom. Hasn't had contact with any
Her
cop
mom knows now
anywhere
that she's
in
on
the
the
United
shit.
States.
As soon as she
Neither
fucking
has
realized.
Justin. Neither has Matthew. Matthew wouldn't have left 2 days without taking care of his cats. You're the last one in his car.
Okay. I see your point.
How did you?
It doesn't change the fact that I used his card because he took $80 off my food card. His girl was there. I literally drove to get freaking water, groceries, like supply. Like,
And you expect me to believe that you borrowed his car. He's okay with that. And he wants you and Justin, you want me to believe that Justin and Matthew, okay, told you to go park it a block away from your house.
they were leaving again together. I said,
Why
"All
wouldn't
right."
they just park it at your house then?
When the detective says, we'll find them, he's testing emotional alignment. Innocent people hope. Guilty people resist. Sean doesn't hope. He deflects.
Sold it maybe or loaned it or something. Justin said that he bought it for like $300. So people were kicking his door in and threatening his kids. He only said that it was Justin, or no, it was Tommy with the gun threatening the kids. Which one is it? He said the story came from Justin was 3 people with fucking shotguns or something. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So there's it. Fact. I left that house and went there. All subs, Smiths, or taking trash. But there's no way me missing the other people who parked it because I'm not leaving my fucking kids for 5 fucking hours.
I got you.
So
I got you. One of the things I'd like to do before we take a little break, maybe talk some more, okay?
Watch the tapping, the water sips, the pauses. These aren't habits, they're time-buying tactics. His brain is working overtime to maintain control.
These families are breathing down our necks, Sean.
my family, every day when I go to bed with my 3 kids,
Everybody's.
they're freaking upset. Like it's awful. Like,
They
I don't have
want
answers.
they want to find them.
I know, I get it. My kid's crying every day. So. But her phone, there's no value in breaking a phone. You can just download whatever fucking you need out of it. I don't have nothing to hide on. Download the 5199 was mine, and whatever the
Yeah. How come you were using Jennifer's phone?
savage, because I didn't have money. Like, look at when the phones were loaded for money. We literally had one phone for weeks.
Right.
One.
Okay.
You know? Like, fortunately, drugs are apparently expensive.
Yeah, they are. Do you want some? We're gonna leave those on for sure. Can't really take those. I'm gonna take this off.
And check the other phones too. Like,
Do you want some food? More water? Cool.
can't you pull the application or something?
I'm working on it. Maybe I can't see that. I'm working on it. I appreciate your cooperation. Man.
I don't have no.
There we go.
Sean walks out free, but not cleared. His story is now locked on tape. Every lie is preserved. And soon, when the bodies are found, every word will collapse. After the initial interview, Sean had managed to do just enough to protect himself. By carefully answering questions, avoiding direct contradictions, and probing detectives about what evidence they had, he blurred the investigative picture. Each time investigators revealed a detail, Sean adjusted his story to fit around it. Without physical evidence or recovered victims, police could not legally hold him. When he was released on his pending legal matters, Sean returned briefly to Albuquerque. Outwardly, his actions appeared ordinary.
Justin Mada, was he coming over?
Yeah, I see him once in a while, but like.
And you guys would all do heroin and stuff and pills?
No, not really. I wouldn't really fuck with him too much. I didn't care for him too much. Honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't care for that dude.
Yeah.
He just seemed real snaky.
You think Sean felt threatened by him?
He could have.
You think Sean felt threatened of you?
No. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. But like he didn't, like, he never felt like to me, he never seemed scared of me or nothing, like, and like, he shouldn't be. I was his friend. You know, I got on his ass one time because he left and he came back and he kicked the door and he told Jenny, "Oh, you in the back fucking with dog?" And I was sitting right there in the front room and I got up, I said, "Hey homie," I said, "Don't you never use my words like out your mouth like that. Never use my name like that out your mouth again." I said, "You're my friend, dog. You're my friend. You're letting me live in your house and not charging me rent and shit. And you think I'm gonna be a fucking punk and go fuck your wife behind your back?"
He gathered his children, handled personal affairs, and told people he was preparing to return to New Jersey. To anyone watching casually, it looked like a stressed father trying to stabilize his life. But to detectives, the timing was troubling. Instead of remaining close to the investigation, Sean began distancing himself, both geographically and emotionally.
That's some bitch shit. Because I never touched her. Never touched her on a sexual manner like that.
She was having sex with quite a few people. I mean,
that's what I heard. See, that's what I heard.
We all have our problems. We all
but I never pushed the issue with her. I never tried to hit on her.
I bet she came on to you.
She never came on to me. She was real flirty, and she was like real flirty and shit. But like, I mean, as for carrying it on, like nothing like that had never happened. That's on my dad.
Did you know she was messing around with Justin?
I had heard that she was, but then I'd seen Justin come around and like, they would talk and stuff and whisper and shit, I guess. But like I said, that was none of my business. So whenever people would come, I'd split. I would take off.
Okay.
Because that's their business.
So the water got turned off about January 1st and it was illegally hooked back up. You're the one who did that, right?
I didn't do it, no.
Okay. But were you there when it got hooked back up?
I explained to him, I told him how to do it. I told him how to do it.
So then they come and pull the whole meter on January 1st.
Yeah, I was already gone by then. Yeah, I was even gone by the time the water got turned off.
So you never.
I wasn't even living there with them. Huh?
Never went back there?
Never went back there, no sir.
He reduced contact. He stopped volunteering updates. He shifted focus toward leaving the state. While Sean was preparing to leave, police were quietly escalating their work. Surveillance footage was being reviewed. Vehicle records were cross-checked. Witnesses were re-interviewed. Analysts were rebuilding timelines that now showed increasing overlap between Sean's movements and the disappearances.
No, that I never did. I never went back there with them. And then my TV had come up missing one time. And I was looking for my TV. And then Sean had told me, one of the last conversations, he said, "Oh yeah," and something about Callie's house. That he had found my TV in Callie's cuartito. And to me, that seemed like he was trying to set me up with Callie and them, like trying to make me go after them for stealing my shit. But that's the only thing that was stolen in the back of my truck, so I didn't get that. I have $5,000 worth of power tools sitting in the bed of my truck.
And this is the maroon
Dodge. But they're gonna go in the Dodge and get my TV out. To me, that's stupidity because everybody knows that tools don't depreciate. Right. Tools, you always get your money worth.
So you're saying if you weren't in your maroon Dodge pickup, was there any other vehicle you would have went to the house January 5th to February?
January 5th.
You're saying you're gone by the time the water.
Yeah. I was gone. I already moved out. I'd already gone back in time.
Stop by.
Yeah, no, I would stop by every once in a while, but like I don't know, I'm trying to say like in my truck. Usually, I was always in my truck or. Oh,
so when do you think the last time you stopped by was?
Oh man.
Mid-January?
No.
Was the water off?
The water was already off the last time I had stopped by because I went by to get he told me I could go by to get my TV.
Okay.
Just days after Sean departed Albuquerque with his children through the Sunport, the abandoned Ford Ranger was discovered in the same parking structure, packed with plastic totes and human remains. In one moment, the investigation shifted from missing persons to mass murder. And Sean, who had just slipped out of New Mexico, was no longer a person of interest. He was a fugitive. After the discovery of the bodies in Albuquerque, investigators in New Mexico finally had confirmation that the disappearances were not accidents, overdoses, or voluntary disappearances. They were murders. The remains of Jennifer, Justin, and Matthew inside the abandoned truck transformed the case overnight.
If I went by to get my TV, that if there's nobody home or whatever, if it's dark, if the door's open, to go in and get my TV from the middle of my TV was in the middle of the front room.
Right.
And he said, and you could have that other TV that was in the living room too, because we never used it.
So that last time you were there,
and I went there with Eddie, me and Eddie, we went over there. And I was going to get my TV because I wanted my TV, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it just felt weird. Something just felt fucking odd with it.
Was Jennifer there?
No, nobody was. That's what I'm saying. The house was dark.
Was the kids there?
No. See, that's what I'm saying. I know they have 3 little kids. I don't know, Sean. No. Nobody answered the door.
Oh, okay.
It was just dark there, right? And so we're walking over there, and my homie, he's like, nah, man, don't. He says, nah, fuck no. He goes, fuck that TV. He says, I'll give you the big screen I have. He said, fuck that TV, dog. He said, man, pick and choose your battles, homie. Yeah. He said, because this doesn't feel right. And it's all quiet and shit. And when is a house that's gonna have 3 little kids gonna be all quiet and just real calm, you know, no lights on, no nothing.
You don't remember when this was?
At that moment, New Mexico authorities began urgently reviewing travel records, phone data, and recent movements connected to Sean Lannon, who had already left the state. At the same time, police in New Jersey were dealing with their own shocking crime, the murder of Michael Dubkovsky. When New Jersey detectives learned that Dubkovsky's suspect had recently been in New Mexico and matched the same individual connected to the airport truck, the 2 investigations merged. Investigators from both states began sharing evidence, forensic findings, interrogation records, and intelligence reports.
I said, no, that was crazy. So, and like I said, like I didn't even know that they were gonna become missing people, because like I had heard, like I said, I called looking for Shiva or whatever, and I had asked him, you know, well, where's Jen at? And he's like, no, well, she took off to Arizona with Mada.
You remember when about that was? Was that before you went over the last time or after?
Yeah, that was way before, before I went.
Way before.
Not way before, but that was like a couple weeks before, probably.
Okay.
It's a couple weeks probably before.
Because he starts telling people that around January 17th.
Is that January 17th?
Yeah.
Because maybe that's when I had called, because I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember
maybe
the
about
dates.
a week before that, he might have told some other family, but people in Grants, he starts telling people that story.
Once New Mexico authorities confirmed the identities of the victims in the abandoned truck, and New Jersey police tied their homicide investigation to the same suspect, Sean Lannon was no longer just a person of interest. He was now believed to be responsible for multiple murders across state lines, including the killing of Michael Dubkovsky, a respected community figure and former youth mentor. A nationwide alert was issued. Law enforcement agencies activated license plate readers, reviewed toll records, monitored financial activity, and circulated his description to patrol units across several states. In early March 2021, investigators received a critical lead. Lannon had been spotted in the Midwest, driving Dubkovsky's stolen vehicle. Surveillance teams quietly tracked the car to a parking area in Missouri. In the early morning hours, officers surrounded the vehicle. Inside, they found Lannon alone. He was taken into custody without resistance.
He knew I was homeless. And he offered me to stay with them with no rent or no nothing, that he would help me out. And I thought that was very cool of him. So there's no way in hell that I would go and I would bone somebody's wife behind their back that's helping me out. That's some scumbag shit.
Yeah.
For real, that's some scumbag shit. Yeah. I wouldn't do that.
Who was Sean sleeping with?
I don't know if he's sleeping with anybody. I thought he was had a little bit of sugar in his tank for real when I first met him. You know what I mean? I thought he was a little faggish. But I guess that's just how straight.
Yeah, he never talked about who he was having sex with or doing?
No, I know that he kept saying that he was getting tired of them blaming him for Kelly.
Blaming who for Kelly? What do you mean?
Sean, for seeing Kelly.
So you knew he was banging her? Or?
I don't know if he was banging her. I don't know what they were doing exactly, because she'd say one story and then he'd say another.
Kelly?
Yeah, they so it's like they're at odds and ends, like, so it's like, and they're always like not arguing, but like, yeah, I guess one of them was either mad at each other all the time or whatever. But like,
Somebody told me here a few weeks ago that Kelly and Sean were planning on getting married.
that's a story I had heard too. There's all kinds of stories floating around.
That's pretty bizarre.
Yeah, just like Kelly, like what?
A search of the car revealed disturbing evidence. A hammer believed to be the murder weapon used in New Jersey, a hatchet, a knife, hundreds of dollars in loose cash, and a collection of coins stolen from Dubkovsky's home. Investigators also found personal items and containers linking him back to the New Mexico victims. The discovery confirmed what detectives had feared. Lannon hadn't just fled after the first interrogation. He had continued killing, with the suspect now in custody and physical evidence tying him to multiple crime scenes. Detectives from New Mexico and New Jersey flew in to conduct the second interrogation. So let's look into this second interrogation.
I got a job assignment in New Mexico 4 years ago. Took the job. Brought the kids, my nanny. The nanny was Diana. Sometime later, Jennifer comes. Jennifer never got along. So at some point, Diana took a job with corrections and did that. Jen stayed in the house. Failed out of rehab a couple times. Pretty much always had nanny off and on, covered all the kids. I worked a lot. Recently I lost my job after I got sick. Apparently I had endocarditis, blood infection in my heart. Apparently there was a punctured lung at some point. I never knew it. Maybe that was the source. In the hospital, lost my job, came back. I wish I'd learned to walk again. We were on unemployment. Pretty much getting evicted and leaving the house. Plan was to get to New Jersey, get the kids back safe. So, one day
What you're hearing right now isn't a denial. It isn't fear. It's something else. Sean Lannon opens with hardship, illness, job loss, eviction. This is a classic setup. Before he talks about what happened, he wants you to understand why he thinks he deserves sympathy.
took a walk to Walmart, pushed a double stroller empty to go get groceries. Pretty good walk from where I lived on Kingman Avenue to Walmart. A half hour into the walk, I realized I didn't have my food cart. So I turned around, came back, went in the front door, went down the hallway to get my food cart on my dresser. I noticed it was quiet, and the kids opened the door. Jen and Justin were in there fucking. I knew we were divorced, whatever, but just fucking ignorant. So I was like, idiots. The fuck are the kids? Grabbed my card. Justin said that they were with his girlfriend. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, idiot. Your girlfriend, your wife's got my kids, so you can fuck your girlfriend. So call the kids, nothing. Open the door, cross your mind. It's a pile of blankets. Behind the blankets are the kids. Pick up bags. Very much like bags. Right on top of them. No response. Pick up bags. Not breathing. Doesn't seem like she's breathing, so I'm flipping out. I put her against her. I could feel her. She's got shallow breaths. Just tall ones. So I'm screaming at the two of them. Like, what the fuck she do to the kids? And pulse stabby up on her arm. I got no pulse. No respirations. I'm flipping out. Like, what the fuck you do? Justin's putting on his clothes. Comes in like, done this 100 times, man. Like, they're fine. I'm like, they're not fine. They're not breathing.
Notice how quickly his story turns emotional. He describes finding his children unresponsive, but never calls 911. Instead of panic, he gives us details. In real emergencies, people act. Liars explain.
This way we're just crying and holding the kids. Jen's adamant she's gonna overdose on the heroin. She kisses the kids on the forehead, all three of them. Says, I'll see you in a minute. She goes to draw up her shit. I took Becca and I put her on the couch in the living room. positioned the couch at the door so that when the nanny got there in a couple hours, she could, so she opened the door, I would hit the couch, she'd have Becca. She had blankets and pillows on her. I went back to the room. They said they also blew heroin smoke in their faces, so they didn't know if Narcan would work. We looked around the garage and I found one. Narcan's a single layer applicator. It's 2 kids. So I'm going to jerry rig some in about less than a minute. Took 2 sports cup straws, some duct tape, put them together, put them over the applicator, rolled their faces, bodies together there, and I put in each one. I fired it off. Nothing happened. They assume like I've done it for other people. It was like immediate. They'd always pop up. So, I kissed him on the head and I told him I'd see him in a minute. And I went to the bedroom. Jen was already out with the heroin. It wasn't enough to take her life.
This is where his narrative shifts. He frames Jennifer and Justin as reckless, irresponsible, dangerous. It's not about facts anymore. It's about justification. He's building moral permission for what he's about to admit.
I went in the other room, psyched myself up, repeating that kind of emotionally charged statement of, you killed the Garrison baby. So I had enough fucking whatever to do it. Alright. Put the pistol behind her head, and I pulled the trigger. Just took it all. A couple seconds later, I was positioned on the bed too. I put the pistol in my mouth. The handle up. Just slipped past my teeth. My son cried out. I was like, what the fuck?
It's still dark in Albuquerque in the earliest hours of Friday, March 5th, 2021, when 2 officers are sent to the top floor of the Albuquerque International Sunport parking garage.
I don't know. It's like
The skin with the hair, that looked.
I'll let our honcho make that call if I go into this truck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Airport lots are full of oddities.
Yeah. Yeah, like behind the seat right there looks like there's blood on her shirt. Like those loppers right there. Yeah. I can't tell if there's rust on it or I don't know. Like around the blade part kind of looks reddish. I mean, could be rust, but based off what we're looking at, I mean, I don't know.
Cars left for days, forgotten vehicles, travelers who change plans. But this one doesn't feel like forgotten. It feels wrong. Airport security had called it in after a routine sweep.
We don't know what's in there. Everything's been towels. Yeah, it does smell. So it does definitely. And there's some type of soap. Did you see the soap garment in the back? You know, there's all kinds of random things in there. So I'll let him. He's honcho for the night, so we'll let him tell us how far to go into this.
On the passenger side in the rear, if you look through the window, there's a garment on the floor. Appears to be maybe a t-shirt. It appears to be blood soaked, oil soaked,
some type of saturation. The reason why we stopped is one of those things that's like skin. But I don't know how. Could be our mind messing with us.
Okay. I saw some fibers underneath this passenger.
There's things that are kind of hinting, but again, I don't.
Yeah.
That's why we're waiting. Bag of saws on there. But yeah.
An older Ford Ranger, beat up, cluttered, and giving off a smell that didn't belong in a public place.
Kind of smells. Kind of smells, but I mean, not to like decompose or anything. You know what I mean,
Not just trash, not spilled fuel. Something heavier, something that seems to punch the air in waves. The cold pre-dawn desert air should have kept odors thin, but this one keeps coming back like it's anchored to the truck. The bed is loaded with plastic tote bins and debris. Another tote sits inside the cab. It's not how someone packs for travel. It's how someone tries to move a problem.
reddish. I mean, could be rust, but based off what we're looking at, I mean, I don't know.
Officers don't yet know they're standing at the edge of a story that spans counties and will eventually stretch far beyond New Mexico. For now, all they have is a vehicle, a smell, and the kind of silence that makes you speak softer without meaning to. And while Albuquerque wakes up like any other Friday, a smaller town to the west, Grants, New Mexico, about 80 miles away, has already been living in a different kind of morning for weeks. Grants is the sort of place where everyone knows everyone's cousin, where rumors travel faster than official updates, and where the desert starts at the edge of town like an endless blank page. When people disappear out there, time doesn't move in days. It moves in questions. The first question comes with a young man's name, Matthew Miller, 21. He's reported missing after he doesn't return home following January 24th, 2021. A few days pass before the report is made, partly because in struggling towns, people hope the answer is simple. He'll show up.
Hello.
Got ourselves a 10-7
Yes. And then, so it's a small puppy that I don't know how long it's been there. It doesn't look like it's been there very long. The previous owners that were renting the place left. Said they were going to leave some stuff outside for these guys to throw away with the landlord. And when they were throwing stuff away, that's whenever they found the dog. Yeah. It's got cable tied around its neck. I'll show you where it's at.
But as hours become days, his grandmother does what families always do when hope starts cracking. She asks for help. Matthew had battled addiction, yes, but family members stress a specific detail. Disappearing without a word doesn't fit him. Police learn Matthew was last seen headed toward Albuquerque in his brown Chevrolet Colorado pickup. Later, that truck turns up back in Grants, parked near an apartment complex. The location is close enough to feel like a message. I was here. But the message doesn't have a sender. No witnesses. No clear timeline. Just the vehicle, returned without the person. Then another missing report starts to echo against the first. Jennifer Whitman Lannon, 39, a mother of 3, disappears from the same community orbit.
They've had no running water for 3 months.
There was the animal, the water guy came, they said they come and had to turn it off several times, and they finally pulled the meter to get to turning it back on. So they did that. It went off for a while. It stinks bad. And then
I've been here multiple times.
okay.
in reference to the tenants.
Yeah, that was just straight abuse.
Absolutely.
That's just sad. That right there just really got to me because it's like that's not cool at all. Right?
No.
They tortured it.
Absolutely.
You can tell they tortured it, just bleeding out of the mouth.
Yeah, I was like, man, what, just to hang it? That's just, I don't know, I'm not very happy with
Cruel,
the guy.
awful people.
Yeah, we tried to get in, the landlord, the owner, he tried to go into the house. They went in, they painted everything their own colors, and they just ruined everything.
Yeah. So we'll make sure it's documented and
Her family situation is complicated, as many are: separation, financial stress, a history of instability, the kind of pressure that turns ordinary problems into cliff edges. She'd lived in New Jersey before relocating to New Mexico, and she had training and work history that suggested she once had a more stable track. But by early 2021, stability had become something the household chased, not something it had. Jennifer's disappearance is reported by her ex-husband, Sean, who tells police she left with a man named Justin Mada and another individual known only by a street name. The claim is that they went toward Arizona, chasing money and drugs, fentanyl pills, quick profit, the sort of logic that addiction sells as just one trip. But the pattern doesn't hold. Jennifer doesn't call. She doesn't text. She doesn't reappear when the money runs out. Her silence isn't normal silence. It's the kind that starts to frighten people who've lived through normal silence before. Then a third missing name enters the same gravitational field. Justin Mada, also gone, also not seen since the same period Jennifer vanished.
He's been missing for over 2 weeks. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When was the last time he was here?
Maybe a year ago, maybe?
A year ago?
When I first got this place, yeah. When I first got it, last January.
He hasn't been here since then.
Like, I know
Okay.
it,
What if I got video of his vehicle?
Maybe Justin hasn't here, man. When he was having it myself.
Okay. When was the last time you saw him here?
When he was in his, once to bring him over, I first got this place.
A year ago? You think Justin would have,
He would have, yeah, probably.
when you weren't here?
If I wasn't here, or I didn't pay attention then, yeah.
Okay.
Because they said all that, yeah. But he left on the 17th and then came back. And then I went,
17th, that's a long time ago.
yeah, and then I went to go talk to the guy in Kingman. He's like, yeah, they left each other. They're during the night and they're in Arizona.
Do you have any kind of way to contact Justin? You have a phone number?
No, he just left him, him took off.
Well, what's his phone number?
You don't
Email,
he
Facebook?
He took my phone and my phone, it's not working. He took my phone, yeah. Took a wife, the other guy.
When's the last time you had any kind of communication with
That's
Justin?
simply said, go by Coke. So I'm gonna go by Coke.
That's it?
Yep, and then I heard things. Somebody had tell me like a week later, oh, he's with the girl in California or Arizona.
When's the last time you talked to Tomas?
Earlier today.
Tell me? Why is he telling the cops that they went to Colorado?
We're going to Arizona. That's where he's going.
Okay. Why would he tell the cops Colorado? Tell me.
Because he has no idea. Because I already found out myself too.
Okay. What I would like to do, alright, is look around your house for any kind of evidence of Matthew Miller, any kind of foul play. I'm not looking for anything other than that. I would like to look in the vehicle outside out back.
It's locked. We tried to open it. I don't have it.
What about the trunk? How do you get into the trunk?
I don't have the key. I have to open it from the inside.
Open the trunk.
Suddenly, police aren't just looking at one person falling off the map. They're looking at multiple people vanishing in overlapping timelines. In a town where disappearances are usually explained away by drift, relapse, or leaving town, the overlap changes the math. Investigators canvass neighborhoods, knock doors, speak to associates, re-interview people who already answer questions once.
It's over here. I'll show you.
all right.
So this guy hasn't paid us since July, but with COVID going on.
Or like we're using your phone or somebody else's phone to text around.
On my phone.
Your phone.
Yeah.
I kept getting my phones jacked up or broken or whatever. So I don't know the numbers. I had a few at the time.
Okay. Was this a smashed up phone or just like a gun in decent shape?
No, it was cracked. I didn't have the money for that, so.
Okay.
When asked about phones, Sean admits destroying them and dumping them in public trash. That's digital evidence elimination, another sign of calculated behavior.
So, because it said you said it's the same day you get picked up, it's the same day you end up killing, you just kill Randall, correct?
Yep, yeah, just obliged for that.
Okay. Did you, is Randall say he's tucked down kind of on the passenger side? Is he covered up? Is he just wide in the open? Or?
No, he's covered up. I literally I had a blue, I think he had it in the backseat, he had a blue tarp. So I rolled it over his body, and then I positioned some of the loose things from his truck. So it looked like maybe someone had all their possessions stacked. So you wouldn't think that someone covered a body. It doesn't give you that impression. Even boxes were on the thing. Couldn't tell unless maybe the puddle of blood, then it could have developed. Or the stink from the back of the truck.
Right.
Probably.
Here, he reveals bodies were stored in multiple locations. Trailers, sheds, storage units. The crime wasn't confined to one scene. It was spread across communities.
Did you know remember how much gas you put in? Or how much money worth?
This food here, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Drink.
Yeah. Just the regular stuff. If you want to eat, man, we'll talk, that's fine. So, you pay cash?
Detectives begin this session by offering food and comfort. This isn't kindness, it's strategy. They're lowering his defenses before asking him to relive the most traumatic moments.
What makes you say that?
We read when we were looking at where he said he lived or whatever. He was on one side of the truck and I was on the other. He slid one of the little, just touch on the pop right up.
Mm-hmm.
I think death has a smell that you're not going to forget anytime soon. Coupled with willing to pay more money to move the truck, you know what I mean? Like, he was aware. So that's when he was like, it's going to cost you more. And I'm like, I'm going to have more, and not until my unemployment clears. So.
When detectives ask about the smell, he doesn't deny it. He acknowledges it. Death, he says, has a smell you never forget. That sentence alone confirms he knew exactly what he was transporting.
So tell me, this may sound kind of self-explanatory, but why kill Randall? Like, what was your thought process?
He was going to make me take the stuff out of the vehicle. Trying to get me, but he could keep it for another $300. Like, fleecing me for the money. Came down to a decision.
Did he know what was in the totes?
Mm-hmm.
He did?
Yeah. He did.
What makes you say that?
Blood and clothing. Sean explains where he left bloody clothes and how he tried to clean the car. This is forensic reconstruction in real time.
So tell me, this may sound kind of self-explanatory, but why kill Randall? Like, what was your thought process?
He was going to make me take the stuff out of the vehicle. Trying to get me, but he could keep it for another $300. Like, fleecing me for the money. Came down to a decision.
Did he know what was in the totes?
Mm-hmm.
He did?
Yeah. He did.
What makes you say that?
The focus shifts to Randall. His death becomes transactional, killed for transportation and money. This exposes motives stripped of emotion.
So who did you cut? Like, who did you start to...
The same order that I killed him, it was the same way that, like, I'm not gonna have like a pile of bodies I gotta chop up in one day. Like, I killed Jen, put her in a box. The same day I put her in a box and drug her out to the
to the garage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another day or two later, muscle up enough idiotness to try and, you know, I think I removed the limb or two to get it to sit in the box. And then I took that outside the house, I put it in the corner of the yard, covered it with random crap. And then like a week later, Justin, dumb enough to show up, and I took his life.
Here, Sean describes moving and hiding bodies while landlords and neighbors were nearby. This shows long-term deception under constant risk.
So when did you drop the pistol off at Kelly's?
I didn't drop it off. I literally took my backpack and my bag that had my shit in it. I'm using a printer. And that was it.
But when is this? After you've already shot Justin and after you've already... Okay.
Yep. Before I left Grants. Very ready to death. And I had been trying to get Daniel Lamos to the house for fucking weeks. He just wasn't that stupid.
You texted him from
Jen's phone.
Just like you did with Justin.
Yeah.
But he's not going for it.
No. One time he comes by in the middle of the night, and he has that, I see a big fucking truck in the window, like, I don't know. He's not the guy's a big George, I don't remember his name, but one of Kelly's friends. Smart enough to bring someone else with him. I know that guy's a little stuff. So.
When he admits baiting Justin through texts, detectives document premeditation. This removes any claim of spontaneous violence.
In the tarp and fucking plastic down, like, I'm not the dumbest guy, like, I had to take Justin, so I was prepared. There was literally, I was stuffed down most times, or if I didn't, I remember, the fat kid felt kind of weird, so and my hand was, I guess, in part of his brain and picked up by his head, his hair, and kind of wiggled him back onto when I had to contain it, you know, it's disgusting, you know.
So you had like you had stuff laid out is what you're saying?
Some of it, not very well, but what I had available.
And where did that stuff go?
Some of it I washed off and slowly trickled into the trash. Yeah. Some of it, I literally would like, you see me on the videos leaving the house because there's surveillance everywhere. So many break-ins there. I would, when I walk I'd have like a stroller, run by the dumpsters. Stuff look clean anyway. Wash the stuff off, throw it in there. You know. Some of it's the bulk of it still with the bodies. Yeah. I have access to so much water, clean. You know.
When detectives ask about cleaning chemicals in trash bags again, they're doing more than confirming facts. They're building a pattern of preparation and concealment that jurors won't ignore.
And arm wanting something. Right?
And how did you, just straight up, how did you kill those people?
In the end, I mean, I didn't have a pistol and a rifle or anything to help. So the first 2 or 3, a fight ensued. Friggin' one of them got shot with their own gun. There were 2 with a knife from my kitchen. And then, in the end, the pistol. Usually they're
the same 40 cal pistol you used, or something different.
Usually they're pistol.
Was anybody home when these happened?
Usually, yeah. My family was there.
So Jen knew about those people, or?
Yeah. Should be heads up, someone's coming, there's a problem.
When Sean talks about 11 victims, detectives don't interrupt. They're letting him expose himself. Whether exaggeration or truth, it shows a man trying to control the narrative.
And who, I heard you mention they all, you knew their nicknames.
They go by street names. I said I did not know them.
Oh, do you know their street names?
My memory is, no, I have Lyme's disease. So some things transfer to short term, some things don't.
Is that from working in the refinery?
No, it's from, I got bit by when I was in Orville, I got bit by a tick. For like 2 or 3 years, I kept trying to figure out why I was getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Eventually, they realized I had Lyme's disease. The damage was already done for my short term and long term. So every workout, I'd have to write down logs
if I didn't write it down, I might not remember. I had to get the logs correct. So.
Is that a progressive? Like, is it getting worse, or I don't know anything about Lyme disease?
It hasn't gotten any better. It's gotten worse. Yeah.
Is there cures for it? Is there cures or like?
No, the Lyme disease is done, but the damage is already done.
Oh,
so it won't progress any farther. You just can't get anything back, basically.
Unless I'm paying for like high dollar meds that fix your memory, like I can't get. Like if I replay this conversation 3 times, 4 times, I probably would remember it. If I don't, that's why I would write it down so that as I'm writing it down, I would replay it, and the replay would stick in my head.
Here, Sean introduces his origin story: job loss, illness, addiction, financial collapse. This is narrative framing, meant to justify what comes next.
Did he have any involvement in any of this stuff with Jim, Justin, and Matthew?
You mean cut the bodies and all that?
Yeah, or killing them?
Yeah. No. I wanted him to add to the number. I didn't know.
So you were coming back for him because of the pictures?
Yeah, I would kill him.
Okay. Not because he didn't help you with anything out in New Mexico? Okay.
Was there?
Did Diana know anything about this?
No. No, I don't even know. She's a nice lady. Yeah, I don't feel bad then. I feel bad at all of it.
Anywhere else? Like New Mexico, Grants, Albuquerque, Jersey, but you were coming back west. Is there anything on your travel or anything like that?
No, I shouldn't hurt anybody. Mike had
Right.
Mike he expired the moment that I realized I had time to finish it. He could have just given me the fucking pictures. I'm probably gonna fight about it. Become a problem. That's horrible too. No one gave a fuck about me when I was being raped for 2.5 years.
This final interview begins the same way the others did, with photos, casual questions, and calm voices. But now, it isn't about discovery. It's about locking every detail into record.
Sounds right, though.
So you get out of jail, just to help you with the dates, you get out on the 2nd.
Okay.
And you flew out on the 4th.
Okay.
And that was you got out on Tuesday, flew out on Thursday.
Sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I
okay.
really don't have that.
I understand.
The detail.
It's been a couple of days, I understand. So
there's no point in me lying about anything if I openly admit that I made those choices. So if I don't, stuff gets blurred in my head sometimes.
So I know you've told your story a couple of times, but I think the other guys already told you too. The attorney's coming.
Yeah, he's always been respectful and wish for that.
So if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, I don't know what it's going to
show lunch. Do you want me to get you a better soda or just something you were set to his diet? I don't know if you don't like a.
I mean, if you could, but if not, don't worry about it.
All right, what do you want, like a full cup?
Yeah, we could.
All right, man, I'll see you later, square one.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not playing on.
It's all right.
Thank you for your time, Sean.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you talking to us. Yeah, see if I square that door.
By the end of this interview, every secret is spoken out loud. The truck, the bodies, the lies, the planning. What began with a bad smell ends with a full confession, and justice finally moving forward. Sean M. Lannon, the man at the center of the Albuquerque International Sunport murders and the killing of Michael Dubkovsky, has now been convicted and sentenced for all 5 confirmed murders spanning New Mexico and New Jersey. After previously receiving 35 years in prison in New Jersey for the 2021 beating death of Dubkovsky, Lannon was brought back to New Mexico and in May 2024 pleaded guilty to the 4 killings connected to the decomposed bodies found in the abandoned pickup truck at the airport. As part of his plea agreement, a New Mexico judge imposed 4 consecutive 15-year prison terms, 1 for each victim, totaling 60 years. He will serve his 35-year New Jersey sentence first, then be returned to New Mexico to serve the combined 60-year sentence, effectively ensuring Lannon spends the rest of his life in prison.